All right, folks, we're all together. Morning, everybody,
Good morning.
and call the first case.
Okay, this is the December 18th, 2014, 11 a.m. docket of the Baltimore City Board of Liquor License Commissioners. The first item is Dominic Lacosa, O'Donnell/Curly's LLC. Trade name is El Buffalo. It's at 2921 O'Donnell Street. This is a Class BD7, beer, wine, and liquor. Application to transfer ownership.
Morning.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman, members
Why
of
don't
the
you
board.
enter your parents' please?
Leanne Schreckengoss, Royston Mullin McLean Green, here on behalf of the applicant.
All right, you're on.
As the-
You're gonna have testimony?
If the board needs it, we are going to have testimony. I'm going to start by proffering, if that's okay.
All right.
As indicated, this is a transfer of a license of ownership only for the establishment known as Coborn's down in Canton Square. The board should have in their file, there's been some letters in opposition to this, and then there's been letters in support, where there's also should be an MOU that we've entered into with the Canton Community Association. I will proffer for the board that Mr. Lascola is a fit and proper person. He has no felony convictions, no violations of the alcoholic beverage laws or gambling laws. They're going to be investing a large sum of money into this establishment, have already, and will be post-closing on the deal. So,
Well, let me ask you a legal question.
certainly.
There's a lot of complaints about about the operation of this license.
That is correct.
What is today you're only asking for a transfer, so we either can deny the transfer or not deny it. It's a question of character and so forth.
Correct.
What about complaints of the community with respect to your license? What authority, if any, do we have with respect to that?
You obviously have the authority to hear and listen to anything that you need to listen to according to Article 2B when it's within a transfer of an application just for ownership. What the board is to be considering is the fitness of the applicant. The need, public need, and all that has already been established by the existence of this building and this establishment and the fact that it already has a liquor license. So what the board is to be considering is the fitness of the applicant.
Yeah, but what do you have to say about this, about the community's concerns?
What I have to say is that Mr. Lascola has had extensive meetings with the neighbors and with the CCA. We've entered into the MOU to address the concerns that the neighbors have expressed in the neighborhood. I can have Mr. Lascola tell you himself who he's met with, the discussions that he's had, and the concerns that have been addressed, and even the plans moving forward on how to better address the concerns of the neighborhood.
You swear the witnesses, please.
Raise your right hands, please.
All witnesses.
Do you swear or affirm the testimony that you're about to... Do you swear or affirm the testimony that you're about to give in this hearing will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
All right, you're on, ma'am.
Would you please tell the chairman, address the concerns that he just...
Yes, sir.
Hold on, he's-
Excuse me.
We're okay? Could you please state your name and address for the record?
Dominic Lascola, 1346 Towson Street, Baltimore, Maryland, 21230.
And could you please explain to the chairman what steps you have taken and to address the neighbors' concerns about the establishment?
In light of some of the concerns that we've received via email, I have been working closely with the CCA and the Economic Development Committee in order to address said concerns via the Memorandum of Understanding. In addition to the EDC meeting, we then had a follow-up meeting and had a few of the residents that had expressed displeasure with our actions to be present at the meeting and voice their concerns as well. And moving forward in a proactive fashion, I will continue to address those concerns.
Now, you're the licensee?
Not currently.
Well, who's the licensee?
Ms. Morris Smith,
Is she here?
she is not
No,
present.
Your Honor. Stephen W. Fogelman on behalf of the seller, Morris Smith. I'm just here to observe today's proceedings.
I see.
Thank you.
You go ahead, ma'am.
Mr. Lascola is the applicant to become the licensee if the board grants this transfer. I have nothing further unless the board has specific questions you would like to.
But first, I want to see, come on over, folks. Who's representing, are you all together or individually here?
We're individual neighbors.
And is anybody spokesman for you?
We prefer to speak independently if we could.
But do you have any questions of the proposed applicant?
Yes.
Go ahead, you may ask them. Go ahead, ma'am.
My
Come
first-
up to the microphone.
My first question, sorry. Hi, I'm Sarah Berman. I live on 1105 South Curly Street. I'm a taxpayer and parent who intends to stay in the city. And I'd like to first know why the neighbors weren't engaged early on, beyond just when we had faults and confusions and questions regarding the safety of the exterior of your building. I asked your staff about why the basement was not secured. There was a gap between the basement door and the wall, and it wasn't until I engaged the liquor board that anything was done. When I asked about trash and other issues surrounding your patrons being left on the exterior of your building and why that couldn't be maintained, I was told by your staff that you didn't have the capacity, the same way you didn't have the capacity to keep your door locked and secure your basement door. It wasn't again until we've moved towards this proceeding that you've engaged the neighbors, and I want to know how you believe that you engaged us prior to leading up to the CCA meeting.
Well, I will always try to make myself available, and as we've discussed, and we've met twice in the recent weeks to try to come to some resolution of these issues, and I've passed her my independent contact information and said that I will personally make sure that any of these issues are addressed in the future.
To date, can you explain how you were engaged us prior?
We've always tried to run a reputable business prior, and that we've done our best to that point.
Can you explain why your staff 2 years in are explaining to me why they don't have the capacity to shut the basement door and maintain the exterior of your property, and why they're telling me 2 years in that you're a new business and don't have the capacity?
Well,
after 2 years in business.
I would say that we do a good job and run a fit establishment and do our best to maintain the street and be mindful of the neighbors and respectful of the environment that is also our home as well.
Questions, commissioners?
I need to understand your current role with this business. Are you currently affiliated with the business at this location?
Yes,
And tell us how.
I'm managing the business under the guise of a lease, but we have engaged in a purchase of contract that is contingent on the transfer of ownership of the liquor license.
And how long
to
have,
own the building.
and how long have you been in that role?
Since May of 2012.
And so problems have come up with the community, and the community
Anytime
has-
they've been.
All right,
I'm
one
sorry.
thing we got to do, I mean,
apologize.
I do pause a little because I breathe, so you got to wait for me to finish.
I'm sorry.
Asking the question.
apologize.
So the community has approached you with concerns, and you've responded as you did today, right? Some were addressed and
Correct.
some were not addressed.
Anything that was directly brought to my attention or to my manager's attention would certainly be remedied immediately.
Okay, tell me what the process is for you getting word of the complaints and then resolving them.
Any complaint that's brought to me with being mindful of the neighbors and our environment is corrected immediately.
All right. And it sounds like there have been some general complaints, certainly from some of the letters that we've gotten, that have an impact on the community and how people live. And I'd like to know how you have addressed those issues and resolved them. Specifically, public drunkenness, noise, loud bass that causes people's homes to, vibrate and they experience it doors down. How have you resolved those
Rick,
issues?
to that end, to your most recent point with the bass, we've recently upgraded the sound system in an effort to be mindful of the uncomfortability that it creates for the neighbors. We didn't have a subwoofer. We've kind of directed all of our speakers away from the homes to, again, further be proactive to that end and make sure that the music and ambiance that exists in the bar and restaurant is not negatively impactful to the neighborhood. And we'll further continue to make those efforts as evidenced by our entering into the MOU.
Okay, and I don't have a copy of the MOU, so I would like to see that. Well, I,
The neighbors that
almost, almost.
Wait a minute. She's asking questions. You have to remain silent. Fine.
So really the ultimate question for me is, if you've been the manager and you've been in place for 2.5 years and these problems have existed, why should the board approve transfer to you as a continuation of the conflict and problems with the community? I think that's the main question that needs to be addressed, and I'd like to hear a response.
I think the most efficient thing that we have tried to do with the MOU is open the lines of communication and make sure that any concerns are directly directed to my attention so that I can address them with a certain immediacy that the neighbors deserve. And as I said, the last 2 meetings, They have been present, and I have passed along my contact information, said, please, for future reference, direct those to me so that I can address your concerns immediately.
Madam Commissioner, I'd also like to add that some of the constraints on his ability to make some of the improvements to the property is because he's not the property owner yet. This transfer will involve him becoming the property owner and the owner of the business. We were constrained by the prior owners on some of the improvements that we wanted to make a couple years ago to address doors and concerns like that. One of the things that we wanted to address is to get an open kitchen. We have not been able to expend the monies to do that without owning the building, nor were they going to do that without owning the building. There was a lawsuit at one point in time with the current owners of this to address some concerns. We would hope this had happened 2 years ago. But there were some legal issues that played a role into what Mr. Lascola was allowed to do, permitted to do, able to do in those situations. So that addresses some of the issues.
Those are all the questions that I have, Your Honor.
No more questions?
Well,
Just a minute.
before
Ma'am,
this,
please.
this is small. You may not have the financial means for making corrections, but if you knew that these things did exist, can you think of any other way you could have gotten somebody to force the owner to deal with these situations?
Well, I would contend to the board that since I was not directly made aware of them, and I'm not sure the channels of communication that the neighbors had passed those through, and again, in a proactive fashion, I hope that in the future, they would direct them directly to me, and they will be addressed with that immediacy. But I would contend that we've done a fair and good job of maintaining the sidewalk, and again, as she alluded to earlier, once we were aware that there was an issue with the gap in the door, it was remedied the very next day.
Well, it's more than just a gap in the door.
All right, now, other concerns that they have is if we should approve this transfer, how soon would these, all the items complained about be taken care of, the physical stuff like new doors or better construction of the doors that you have? How soon would these things be taken care of?
Within 120 days, as it is represented in the MOU.
Are there any
This-
other major repairs or rehab work you plan to do other than the doors?
Most
The kitchen?
most notably, the kitchen. Upfit of the kitchen, the Ansel system, the hood, new equipment so that we can open the restaurant portion and serve food.
Would this include some type of beautification, like painting also?
Yes, sir, and I actually, if I may pass them to you, I have some renderings that the architects did of what the exterior facade will look like, as well as the,
Is there also a time frame included
Interior.
in this information you're going to pass over to me? Is all this part of that 1 to 20 days?
yes, sir, that's the ambition. May I pass these to you?
Yes, you may. I'll let the judge have it first. Out of respect.
These pictures are renderings of the future.
Yes, sir.
Have you seen these? Yeah.
No, it's not. I've not seen
Do not see them, want to see them?
it. Yeah, I,
We can't speak without identifying ourselves, and you gotta wait your turn.
I'm sorry, my name is Nancy Longo.
The Longo family that used to be in the boxing world,
That's my dad, Joe, and my mother, Dorothy, who know very well.
are they all still alive?
My father passed away about 15 years ago, and my mother is in the hospital at the moment. It's one of the reasons why I'm part of being here today. Thank you.
We're glad you're here.
And your daughters, I went to school with. Kathleen.
This is so
I indeed.
Baltimore.
All right, and everybody else has seen them, is that correct?
I'm good, Judge. I'm finished.
All right, now, you wanted to say something, ma'am.
I just want to make the board aware that there was one meeting with CCA that I was able to attend, and I was told that it was my responsibility to engage any neighbors who wanted to participate in the development of the MOU. I was given several hours' notice, and the CCA board members were, in retrospect, when they apologized, but they also told me it was my neighbors' responsibility to engage me and then somehow engage further neighbors within a matter of hours. So though I was at 2 meetings, I did not participate in the development of
What
the
do you
MOU.
want us to do? What are you here to?
I'm just saying that
What
the
do you want
neighbors,
us to do with his request?
At his request,
What
I
he
just,
wants to do is take over the bar. That's essentially.
I want to
it.
know how I don't
What do you want the board to do?
believe he's responsible.
So you want us to
He's
deny it?
capable of, yes.
No.
Because his managers were unable to convey simple, significant safety concerns after years in business.
All right, let me
And
hear
my
from
other
you.
neighbors, who's a direct neighbor, can explain more.
Your name, sir?
Dustin Ritter. I own the property right immediately behind.
And what's your position today?
My position today is we've had continued issues with the current leasee. And I was going to ask Mr. Fogelman, when's the last time she's been on property?
You're going to ask who?
Her representative, Ms. Smith, the current licensee. I don't know the law. We've had issues before in terms of trying to contact her, and it's ultimately her responsibility at this point.
No, but they're trying to transfer the license to him.
Yes, but my concern is he's been operating pretty much the last 2.5 years, correct?
He's a manager, he said.
Yes.
So what is your direct question?
My direct question, what I want out of it before we can get there is Dominic's made improvements. I sent you emails. I don't know if you received the emails. We've met, we've talked. It is my position, the worst thing that happened in this community is the current licensee to keep the license.
For him to,
No, the current licensee.
so you want the license removed?
Revoked, either altogether or given to Mr. Scala. It should not remain with the current owner. She has been nothing but these issues have stemmed since her prior to Dominic, and that's the case here. So
So you think it would be an improvement?
yeah, I mean, anything has to be an improvement.
Well, do
And
you have communications with him? Are you open now? Are you talking
yes,
to
we
each
have,
other?
but and
Yes or no, sir?
yes, sir. Yes, sir. We have communications, and the concern is that this is a community. It's Mr. Scala's responsibility. It's Sean's responsibility. CCA. It's my responsibility. It's your inspector's
Okay,
responsibility.
hang on. Do you have any questions of this witness?
I do not have any
All
questions.
right,
of this
Quest
witness.
Commissioners, any questions?
Who is Sean?
The CCA president.
Oh.
So
okay.
my concern is that
Who is Sean?
Mr. Sean Flanagan, he's the CCA president, Kent Community Association president. My concern is that we felt as neighbors, we felt we're on our own. We've addressed these issues when Mr. Fogelman was the chairman, and these have been long going. We've used 311, 911 calls. We've tried to get inspectors out. This is not just on Dominic and Mr.
All right,
Scala.
let me stop you in questions.
Okay, key question.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. And this is yes or no. Are things better with Mr. La Scala as the manager?
She says yes or no.
Yes or no?
But I guess it's two
Oh,
things.
no, just-
A time point, right now, right at this
Now.
very moment.
Yes.
It-
At
they're
this
better.
moment,
This
things
very
are better.
moment, things are better.
Are you opposed to Mr. La Scala becoming the licensee for this establishment?
If he follows through with if I can be assured that the liquor board has changed and we have inspectors, we have Mr. Akers.
No,
chief-
wait a minute. We're not here to talk
I
about the liquor
understand.
board.
But there's only certain things.
Well, I'm going to tell you,
I'm
we're not here.
It's not disrespect. I'm not trying to
No,
disrespect.
no, but I'm telling you, we're not here. And if you watch Charm City
I do.
TV
I'm one of those-
25, if you haven't perceived a change, I can't help you.
Yes, ma'am.
And we're not here to talk about the liquor board and how we do or don't do.
Yes, ma'am.
I just want to know what you think. You're probably one of the most proximate neighbors. Do you feel that your life is better today than it was 3 months ago or 6 months ago with respect to this bar?
I can't give you 100% yes. Do I have
Can you
do I
give me
do I have
90%?
do I have confidence that there's the chance that it'll be better? Yes.
Okay, thank you.
All right, Ms. Longo, you've already been sworn. Give us your name.
My name is Nancy Longo, and I'm a resident at 1111 South Curly Street and have done so for the last 20 years.
And what's your position on this?
My position on this situation is that Mr. La Scala had one meeting with me. He offered to have another meeting with me and then canceled it. I've received one email from him, so this constant communication, I'm sorry, sir, I hate to say this in court, it's a lie. I've never been communicated with in any other manner, and when I've gone up there and cited things to the folks that work for him, which have direct, interesting information about the liquor board's rules, they tell me and call me names that I wouldn't even want to repeat here in court.
Who is that? Who is it?
The supposed bar manager, who actually at some point in time put his body up against mine, and I'm going to give you a bunch of papers so you can check it out. And so under the circumstances, I, as in the testimony with Dustin, well, you know, you're going to ask me if I got it 100% or 90%. I'm going to give it about an 80%.
80% what?
80% that I would agree that Mr. LaScala should get the liquor license, and I'm 100% that Mara should be gone, because I had, one of my employees drove me home and their car was demolished on another occasion. But I have had to resort to using the television to prove my case. If you would like to go to the 1100 block of South Curly Street, you will see videos from Jamie Costello and other folks where he ran away from them when they asked him about things and concerns that had to do with our neighborhood and our street during other occasions where they got tense and things like that. I would love to speak to Mr. LaScala. I could actually probably be a help to him in the process of him having a kitchen, since I am a chef. In the MOU, it says he's spending $50,000 on the kitchen. I can tell you right now the price of a hood alone is $40,000. I'd like to know where the rest of the monies will come from to make this kitchen happen, because in this general time and place, I would like to open one for kids that
We
are
want to ask
underprivileged.
him that question?
Yeah, well, I'd like to know where the rest of that money's going to come from.
I am actually taking on real estate partners that will be partners in the real estate as well as the business. By the names of Eric Levitt and David Berg, that own several other reputable establishments, not only in Canton, the new owners of the Smokehouse, Riley's Oyster Bar, Bookmakers, just to name a few.
And are those establishments, and yours going to continue to just run as a bar?
No,
I mean, you say you're going to have a kitchen, and when I first was there, none of those places were there. So I get the constant, you should move to the county. I'm not moving to the county. My husband, you actually know, he's retired. He's going to retire soon. I can't afford to move to the county. And also, I'm a licensee who has lived in the rules of the liquor board, which you have not, that you need to live in the city to have that license. I've lived in the city the whole time.
Ma'am, any other questions of this gentleman?
No, I don't actually have any other questions.
So your final conclusion is you want us to do it.
My final conclusion is that I have no issue with you doing it, as long as there are strong contingencies that if they are not followed, that license will be revoked, and that those in the neighborhood who live that close of proximity, there are 12 homes on that street, there's a 3-foot wide in the middle of the street, that those of us continue to have our safety thought of in the process of them renewing this license and allowing them to act as an establishment that they say that they're going to be, which is responsible and respectable and respecting the neighbors. But as is, I don't see it. But I have no problem with that.
Questions? Any-
This is an easy one. And you somewhat answered the question already, but I want to give you a bigger spectrum. Suppose everything he has in this document, and also in the pictures that he presented to us, if he does all of those things, do you think that their location would be better off than what it is now, having him as the owner?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I won't disagree with that.
Also, do you also understand, and I'm quite sure we can make him aware that, there is a process. Someone made reference to the old liquor board. They have to come before us. He has to come back before us. We spend all this time with him vetting this process. Do you
I'm
think he would want to
concern-
come back before us again and look us in our face and say,
I'm concerned with the new administration coming in, that this liquor board's going to get changed over, and I'm not sure what's going to happen in the future and whether my concerns are going to be heard. I do have concerns
I do
about
believe
that.
anyone who replaces us, if they do, I'm quite sure they're going to see the template, and it's working.
Oh, my goodness, I hope so.
And I know that it would try to follow some of what we're going to leave behind,
Okay.
if we are to leave anything behind.
All right, any questions?
Very quickly, where are you a chef?
I own Pier Point Restaurant, 1822 Alisana Street.
So you know what it takes to open,
Absolutely, and I've
run.
actually done consulting for other people who've had restaurants and needed some help. I've been in business for 25 years, and I've been relatively successful.
You've been very successful, actually. You're modest today. I recognized your name. I had a little trouble putting it together. So I think what I'm hearing is that there's a gap between the folks on this side having concerns and bringing them to you, and I'm using you as your business, your restaurant, your managers, and then getting responses. And in this age of communication, it's very, very easy to ignore someone. I don't think it should be, and it seems like it has been, unless they communicate with you in a certain precise way, nothing would happen. And as the owner, if we approve this transfer as the owner, I don't think it's going to work if there are all these exquisite steps that they have to go through and all these hurdles and gymnastics to actually get to you. It would be very disappointing if we approve this for there to be complaints and then to have the community come back and say, we reached out and we never heard back. That would be, I think, a failure, a major failure of the MOU. So you need to understand that. They don't have to send you certified letters in triplicate, sent from Alaska and then rerouted through Alabama and then getting back to Baltimore in order to qualify as a legitimate communication with you. If they have concerns, they need to call and you need to answer and you need to return the calls and you need to answer those emails. Do you understand that? Am I making sense?
Yes, ma'am.
And you're committed to doing that?
I am committed. I want to say outside the context of the MOU. Aside from the MOU, which I will certainly adhere to because it's an agreement I entered into, I want to do those things independent of the MOU just to be a better neighbor. And I'm going to make a commitment to the board and to Ms. Longo that we will have direct communication, and I may even take her up on her offer to help with the opening of the kitchen.
You could do no better.
Yes, I understood.
All right, folks, I think we're ready for a decision in this case. I think you've been told what you're expected to do.
Yes,
We don't
Judge.
want these people coming back in here complaining.
No, sir.
All right, I vote yes.
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 You have our decision.
Thank you all very much.
Thank you.
Don't come back for the wrong reason.
Yes, sir.
Listen.
Good luck to you with your mom.
So, Chairman,
Yep.
Good seeing
Good
you.
to see you.
All right,
The next item is William Ely, Rajma Mercante, Raj Hard Inc. This is trade name pending. This is at 1615 Eastern Avenue. This is a Class BD7. This application has been, a new application has been filed, will be being filed for this particular item, so I'm asking for it to be removed from the docket today.
nobody here for it?
Now, there's an attorneys, the attorneys are here, but I've asked for this to be removed because there will be a new
I
application.
can't understand you.
I have asked for this item to be
excuse me,
removed.
it's too much noise, please.
I'm sorry,
Or
sir.
you're asking it to be removed for what reason?
Because there will be a new application filed on behalf of this applicant at a
Just the
different
one where you
location.
can't find a location.
Correct.
Yeah,
And you have a new location.
no, he's got several, he just has to check the zoning and so forth out.
All right. So what you want us to do is postpone it because
So you can file an
you
amended
feel
app.
that this location is not going to work.
And he's made an agreement that he will not keep it there.
Okay. So what's your position?
Uh,
And your name, please?
Yes, Becky Witt for the Douglas Place Neighborhood Association, and we
First of all, swear the witnesses.
oh, we're not.
They're both
we're
attorneys, Your Honor.
I'm sorry,
yeah,
I didn't know
I'm
that the
sorry,
hearing
Ms.
would be
Witt.
today.
They're all everybody, go ahead.
Sweater. So
So what's your position, Ms. Witt?
on behalf of the Douglas Place Neighborhood Association, we're happy that they're moving it outside of the boundaries, and we're fine with postponing the hearing until
All right,
the.
postponed for the reasons given.
Do you know where the license was coming from originally?
Not
1614 Eastern Avenue.
Really?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Your mom's place?
And I was a licensee there, yeah, right across the street. And it was going to go into where Sindler's Furniture Store was.
I know things about what
then it
happened after your
didn't.
mom left that I'll tell you sometime.
Mom?
Aw.
He's asking about it.
What a moment.
We don't want to be on that.
Oh.
Me, I got all these old stories.
Judge, we have a list.
All right, call the next case.
Okay, Colleen Van Skyver.
That other case is postponed for the record for the reasons given. All right, and the next case is,
Colleen Van Skyver, VG Enterprises, Inc. This is trade name Colleen's Corner. This is at 2231 Sedley Street, Class BD7. This is a request to remove and modify restrictions placed on the license and to change the floor plan of the establishment. Ms. Van Skyver will probably need to be sworn in, sir.
all right, ma'am, you You are who?
Colleen Van Sciver.
All right, swear the witness, please.
Raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm the testimony that you're about to give in this hearing will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
And you are here today to request additional space for coolers.
Yes.
Go ahead and tell us what you want, ma'am.
I just want to have.
Come on over here to a
Okay.
microphone.
I just want
We
to
can
have.
pull it down.
Yeah, I'm little. I just want to have, I'm sorry, I just want to have a liquor store along with my bar and restaurant.
And you're down in Westport.
Yes, right on the waterfront.
What happened as a result of this bankruptcy? The man who was going to do everything down there?
I do believe that Baltimore Development Corporation took it over, and Citibank foreclosed, from what I understand, and they're going to start the project in the spring.
It still has hope.
Yes.
All right, and is there any opposition to what you want to do?
No, I have sent Miss Michelle a letter from the community organization.
And we have the, what you said in your record, and then I'm sure all commissioners are familiar with it. Any questions, commissioners?
No questions for me.
No.
All right, ma'am, we're ready for a vote. I vote yes.
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 All right, you have our decision. You're granted permission to do what you've requested.
Okay, and I can have the liquor, because I have a problem with liquor inspectors. I just want you to know. They come in and give me, I brought the papers with me. I won't show them to you, but I don't have a license that looks like this. So when they come into my place, it says packaged goods sold only behind the bar.
This will remove it, ma'am. This will remove everything.
You're going to remove all that?
Yes, ma'am. I just need you to take care of the $100 fee, and we'll get you a new license. There we go.
All right, are we all set?
We're set. I won't take up any more of your time.
That's fine, I see.
Have a
Call
good
the next
Christmas.
case when you're ready.
The last case is a violation case. Masuma Ho, Asma Ahmed, and Brent Lambert, ABM Systems. This is trade name Lido's Pizza. This is at 3105 St. Paul Street. It's a violation of Rule 418, illegal conduct.
For the record, I'm Melvin J. Kaminsky, representing the licensee.
Good afternoon, Thomas Akris on behalf of the Liquor Board. And present with me is Mark Fossler, Chief Inspector. Sorry, strike that, Inspector.
All right,
This would be an admission that at the time that the inspector came in, they did not have a trader's license. They have since gotten a trader's license and got a certificate of good standing for the corporation. It was a tax issue that's now up on appeal.
That's correct. I've spoken with defense counsel prior to this, and we're just going to go ahead with an agreed statement of facts. I believe in the file there's a put the evidence. I can actually, I have it marked here if you'd like me to just introduce it from here as well. Your Honor, just going ahead, on November 5th, 2014, Agent Fossler found that the establishment did not possess a 2014 trader's license. The owner-operator of the establishment was directed to obtain his 2014 trader's license on or before November 15, 2014. November 18, 2014, a reinspection of the establishment showed that he failed to comply with the agent's directive. The licensee did not possess a 2014 trader's license. And this investigation was conducted at 3105 St. Paul Street. At the location known as Lido's Pizza, which is located in Baltimore City, state of Maryland. I'm going to be introducing exhibit marked A1, Your Honor. It's the investigation
Mark it
report.
one, exhibit one.
And I have marked it as A1 for the investigator's report that he turned in. There are also some findings on the back. You can page through them indicating that on the 5th and on the 18th that the licensee
Excuse me just 1 minute. Mark that as exhibit in the other case, the proper case, exhibit 1. I'm sorry, I didn't get, go ahead now, continue in this case.
If you flip through that, you'll see that Agent Fossler's inspections indicate that the licensee failed to have a trader's license on the 5th and on the 18th as well. And Your Honor, also for the record, I'm moving into evidence exhibit A2. This is a history of the licensee's failure to have a trader's license. I believe it goes back to 2012, and you'll just note instances where the licensee failed to have his trader's license. With that, Your Honor, I'll conclude.
You do admit those facts? Do
I do admit those.
you have any questions?
No questions.
Any additions?
Just in mitigation that the problem was a sales tax issue for an audit that began in 2010 to 2014 is on appeal, and that caused them not to be able to pick up their trader's license. Since we filed the appeal, we're in good standing. We do have a copy, and I can submit a copy of the trader's license and a copy of certificate of good standing.
Okay, exhibit, next exhibit.
No objection.
And it's not a bar, it's
So
a,
what do you want us to do?
I just
Obviously,
I'd like you to
you're-
say Merry Christmas, and this is your Christmas gift, but I don't think that's going to happen.
Obviously, you're responsible for the,
Yeah, absolutely.
for the charge. And do you have anything you wish to say on that?
I'll submit, Your Honor.
Why is the word defiant in the record? Where did I see that? That the people at the bar were defiant. Is that true, Mr. Foster?
Agent Mark Foster, he was always cooperative with me. It was just repeated directives to
Just a
obtain
nuisance.
trader's license. And
Is it a nuisance, a violation of law? I mean, where are we coming from here?
just the violation of not having the trader's license, that's all, Judge.
All right. Well, any questions, Commissioners?
No?
None. But,
Ma-
I mean, is Defiant in here?
I saw it somewhere, I don't know
Oh,
where I saw it.
okay, because I don't think I saw that.
I'm going to, since I can't pin it down, I'm going to
Okay.
put an X through it. in
Okay.
the Notes. However, there's a certain amount of nuisance here, and I am going to, we're ready for a decision, and I'm going to recommend a maximum fine, I believe, is $500. I'm going to cut it to $300 in view of the fact that we're in good shape now. And that's my recommendation, and that's my decision.
I concur with that, Judge.
I concur.
All right, you have a decision, $300 fine.
When can you pay it, Commissioner? Can you pay by next week? A week? 1 week? Okay.
Pay in 2 weeks.
2 weeks. First of the year, we'll start the year off right.
Yes. All right, folks, thank you.
Thank you.
We have our decision.
Thank you.
May I be excused?
You're excused.
Thank you.
And that is our docket, I believe.
For the whole day, Judge?
Yes, sir.
Yes, we have a short day today.
You work things out when you want. That's why you're the judge.
That's why he's the judge. Yeah.
All right, folks, thanks for everybody, and
There's City Council
That's it.
President Young.
I'll see you
Hello.
after Christmas.
Very well.